So this video originally started out as 5 to 10 things that you might have missed in the latest Animal Crossing Nintendo Direct. But because, Animal Crossing, it quickly evolved into something much, much bigger. We discussed what we found, we dug around on Twitter a bit, and we realized that there is so much more to talk about. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life, and today we're here to share with you roughly 20 details we think you may have missed in the latest Animal Crossing New Horizons themed Nintendo Direct. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to our contributor Austin for giving me a huge hand with this list. I've been bothering her all day with questions, asking her, hey, is this new? Is this a big deal? What is that in the water? And I know she loves Animal Crossing, so it probably wasn't that big of a deal, but if you'd like to follow Austin and all the hype that she carries for Animal Crossing New Horizons, you can find her info right here. Somewhere around here. Right here? We'll also be revealing all of these details in the order that they appear in the Direct. So if you want to follow along, it'll be super easy. So without further ado, let's take a look. So first up, around the 102, 103 mark, if you look in the water, you can see something swimming in there that isn't necessarily a fish. And I watched it like 5 or 10 times before I even bugged Austin about it, because I was like, maybe that's just a bug or something, but it almost looks like a human's head, like the top of a head, or someone's wearing like a mask in the water. I don't know. And I threw it over to Austin, and she thought that it was just a bug too, but then still thought it was super weird. And it's kind of hard to see because it's a little off in the distance. You're not super close to the shore there. So is that a bug? Is that a mermaid? Is it someone in a scuba diving suit? I have no idea. It's probably just a bug, because then if we flash forward all the way towards the end of the video, you'll see a little bug swimming in the water. And I'm assuming that's the same bug that we see in that first clip there, but maybe it's different. The next thing that we realized, which has been featured in some other marketing already, but not to this degree. Animals can interact with new things. At one point you see Bunny, she's eating ice cream, like she's actually chomping on the ice cream, not even just holding it. You also see different animals drinking different things, one eating soup, someone's reading a book, and others are even just sweeping with a regular broom. One of them is sweeping on a stone pathway, but then the other one is just sweeping out in the grass. It doesn't make any sense, but whatever, you do you. This next detail I found thanks to Nintendo Fangirl over on Twitter. She pointed out that at the top of the island map, you can actually see that there's a little hidden beach up there that, regardless of what map choice you pick, it's always going to be there. And it also seems like it's blocked off by the terrain, so you might not be able to get there until you have the ability to manipulate the terrain with your shovel once you get the permit later in the game. So maybe that's going to be a hot spot for fish, or maybe you can eventually build a dock there, and maybe Kapp'n will come there, or maybe Kapp'n will be shipwrecked there and you need to help him with his boat and rebuild it, and then you can visit other areas, or who knows? The possibilities are obviously endless, but we're excited to see whatever that ends up being. We also realized that you don't just pluck flowers like you used to. You now actually pull the flower off of the plant, and then the roots and everything stay intact, so that way they can continue growing. So now if you actually want to pull a flower out of the ground or a plant or whatever, you actually have to dig it up now, which that's kind of a nice feature. So now you can actually have a flower garden, and you don't have to worry about destroying it if you want to take a flower out and use it for something. And then in the background of this shot on the beach, you can actually see some giant seashells. So I'm curious, are those just furniture pieces, or are there going to be like giant rare seashells that you can stumble upon on the beach that are A, worth tons of money, and then B, can be used to decorate with? This is a detail that Alex brought up in his Direct Roundup video, which he had an absolute blast. He was super pleased with the Direct. So if you want to go check that out, I'll pop a link in the description down below for that video. But Resident Services is going to be open 24/7. And you can actually sell things at Resident Services. So now if you're going out and you're hunting for bugs on an island late at night, or doing whatever with some friends, now you can actually go and unload all of your unwanted stuff that you run around and scavenge for. And another fun thing that was noticed is when they show off the crafting menu in the corner, you can actually see that you can make a wooden ocarina. And now we don't know if that's going to be like a usable item, or if it'll be more of a decoration that you can place on a table or something like that. But regardless, can you imagine like if you could actually play that in the game? And I saw a tweet where someone mentioned, oh sure, time travel has been removed from Animal Crossing, but don't worry, us Zelda fans understand. And we're just gonna play the Song of Time. It's so great. I love it. And then at the 5 minute and 25 second timestamp, we actually see in the front of someone's fence There's a little wooden sign that has a like real world cat on it, which I know Animal Crossing has other animals in it. Obviously, I mean, we can go catch fish and bugs. So it's not the most obscure thing. There's even the little bird that lands on the sign. So it's not completely out of this world to see animals in the game, but what is that sign for? Is that just a furniture piece? Is that a custom design someone made? Is there more to that sign? What's the deal? What gives? Are we gonna be able to adopt a real cat in this game? And then I'm gonna be able to invite Kid Cat over and he's gonna be able to pet Tiny Cat? And don't get any funny ideas with that one. Ooh, this is so cool. The design slots have upgraded. No longer do you just have, I think it was 8 or 10 in Animal Crossing New Leaf. Now you have at least 30 design slots. Now, of course, there's the possibility that these slots are shared amongst all of the other villagers in your town, which would be nice, but still annoying. But it just looks like there's going to be more slots now, and that's amazing. Pro designs are back now as well, so you'll be able to make t-shirts with unique sleeves and hats and tank tops and whatever you want. It also looks like you'll be able to use custom designs as like semi-permanent paths in the game too. In the direct, when it shows the villager laying a path, it shows a little like pencil tool. And so I'm assuming that's going to be custom designs that you can pull up then, which will be nice because then you don't have to worry about someone running around and picking up your custom path anymore. You can also now flip through tools on a wheel. I'm not sure if you're going to have to equip tools into that wheel or how you're going to get them in there. Maybe tools will be a separate unit in your inventory now. I'm not really sure, but it's nice that that wheel is there. Ooh, this was another thing that Alex already mentioned, but during the rescue service, you can actually hear Rossetti's song being played in the background. And not only that, but the rescue service helicopter that's featured on the little Nook phone app has a hard hat and has got like a mole nose. It also looks like this might cost you Nook miles in order to use it. When the villager actually pulls up the rescue service app, you can see the Nook miles emblem featured up in the corner with how many Nook miles you have. So I'm assuming it's going to take away some. But realistically, you shouldn't have to use that unless if there's something unknown about the game that might make you lost, I guess, but I don't know how that can happen. Ooh, Austin pointed out to me that when you add on extra rooms, that your middle room will still have windows in it. I think they're a little bit smaller than what they normally would be if you just had the one room, but windows actually go kind of like next to the doorways to your other rooms, so that way you still have light in there, and it's not like a giant jail cell, so that's good. Ooh, Alex also mentioned this one, but if you didn't notice it, that's okay because I didn't right away, but now you can jump over ponds as long as the gap needs to seem like it's small enough. Like in the stream, you can jump over it, but if it's too big, then you just have to use a pole still, but you can just jump. It's like Breath of the Wild. You can jump in Animal Crossing now. It's crazy. What a time to be alive. This one I noticed, which very much could be nothing, but I'm very excited about it at the same time, but the Able Sisters, their store, there's actually a back door kind of next to where Sable is working. And so, I mean, that door might not lead to anything. Maybe it leads to their room where they sleep, because since they have a shop on the island, they probably live here. They're probably not taking a flight home every night. And maybe we'll never get to go in there, but the Harvest Moon Mine that I have going on right now really assumes that if we become good enough friends with them, which is a thing, you have to become good enough friends with the Able Sisters in order to do certain things. Maybe we'll be able to go in there, and maybe it's like a whole crazy design suite where we can make even more nuts stuff than we could in the past. Who knows? Maybe it's an arcade. Maybe we can play NES games in there. Maybe Sable is just a huge gamer and she's got Super Nintendo and NES games in there, and N64. LaBelle seems like she's kind of taken over the position of Gracie Grace, at least on this island life. So maybe she's upgraded. She's super humble too, and she's like, oh, like, you might have heard of me, or like, oh, you probably haven't ever heard of me, which is so nice. And I appreciate my buddy Aaron actually pointed this out to me as well, so thank you for bringing that to my attention. But I'm excited to see her new importance in this game instead of just selling you accessories at the Able Sisters shop. It looks like she's gonna have kind of like her own event, or maybe she'll come on certain days. So we already knew that Kix is back in the game thanks to an import Japanese like Switch system decal, but now we got a closer look at Kix, and the cool thing is not only is he selling shoes, boots, and socks and things of that nature, but he's also selling extra accessories like backpacks and little purses and little sling bags and things. You can see a tiny bit of it at the bottom of his like cell window here, and then you can actually see certain characters wearing some of these accessories throughout the direct. They probably won't be inventory upgrades or anything like that, though. Probably just be purely cosmetic, but it's nice that they're throwing in an extra little accessory for you to decorate your characters with. And at 2 different points in the Direct, we can actually see 2 electricity poles planted in the ground of these people's villages. And now, it's probably just like a public works project or something, but maybe, just maybe, we'll end up getting a power plant for the town. Because if the town is having all these homes and shops, I mean, they could, like we've talked about, and I've made a dummy of myself before, we could have solar panels. Maybe we learn to harness the energy of the gods or just thunder in general. Who knows? But it would make sense to have a power plant. We can also see in the background of this shot that there's a satellite dish that has the Tom Nook like leaf on it. So I'm not sure what kind of communications we're going to be having with the outside world, or if maybe that's just another public works project that is just going to be a decoration for your island. But I could see it being something more. And there's also a gravestone, which some people are expecting it could be Tortimer's grave. But like, why is it just like under a tree over here and just like subtly hinted at? Like, and why would he be planted on this island? Like, I know, wait, is this island Tortimer's island? Did you just inhabit Tortimer's island? Nintendo also confirmed amiibo compatibility with New Horizons in this game. You'll be able to use tons of pre-existing Animal Crossing amiibo. And they said that you'll be able to invite villagers into your town to come to the campsite, and you can also use them for this photo mode. Now, they didn't specify exactly how they're going to work. The photo mode, you'll be able to pull villagers in and kind of plop them around and set up dioramas and kind of like set up little scenes and take little videos or photos. But then you're also able to invite villagers to your campsite. Now, if it works similarly to New Leaf, you should be able to invite those villagers to come live into your town, but we don't know that exactly yet. It hasn't been confirmed, but that is the hope. And if that's the case, you're definitely going to want to start buying some of these Animal Crossing amiibo cards before the prices go up, because originally when Animal Crossing amiibo were released for Happy Home Designer and Amiibo Festival, they weren't worth a ton. But then when amiibo compatibility got announced for New Leaf, they all shot way, way up, because now they have a second purpose and tons of people want them. It's just like amiibo in Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda set alone from Smash Bros was selling for like $200 online, and that's way more than they originally retailed for. So just as a fair public service announcement, if there's any villagers that you want, go get the cards now while you still can. And then to talk about Photopia Island once more, if you just look at its name, you'll realize it's a separate island. And how are we going to get there? We haven't been swimming, hasn't been confirmed yet. Boats aren't around, but Kapp'n is a thing in Animal Crossing. And yes, he hasn't been confirmed for Animal Crossing New Horizons yet, but a boat kind of has, because on the back of the Nintendo Switch system, there is a little boat icon on the back of the special edition system, and I'm assuming that is going to mean that Kapp'n's in the game, and you're probably going to take Kapp'n's boat over to that island. Maybe not, and maybe that's not something I picked up on from this Direct, but I think it's still a safe assumption. And there you have it, roughly 20 different details that we found in the latest Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Direct. Feel free to let us know in the comments down below if you found any other details that we might have skipped over or just completely missed entirely. This Direct was 25 minutes long. There is so much to cover. I guarantee that we probably missed 10 or 20 things already, but that's why we're glad to have you around. Please feel free to let us know. We also found that there were 40 different villagers featured in this trailer. Now, I'm probably not going to make another villager update video because that thing took me way too long to make. It was so time consuming, and I hope you liked it, but oh my gosh. But we did update our article over at nintendolife.com, so we'll pop a link to that in the description down below as well if you want to go see if any of your other favorite villagers got added to the list. I am very thankful. My boy Kid Cat got added. He is probably like the last villager that I was waiting for, and now I'm set. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, then why don't you get yourself a permit and carve a little path to that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we release new videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life, and as always, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you next time.